Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As you can see, things are falling apart around me, or actually being disassembled around me. So please forgive the echoiness and the sparse background here. Because, like I said, I am in the process of turning this part of my studio into a walk-in gun safe, gun room. But I still wanted to make a video today. Actually, I'm going to make two tonight. I'm going to make one for today and one you'll see tomorrow because as of the time I finish these videos, this camera and lighting and everything's going away. Not only will I not have a green screen, I won't have a camera mounted. So I won't be able to film for a few days. But with that said, bear with me. I wanted to discuss right now the Ninth Circuit en banc hearing that was held today, where, by the time you read this, it won't be today, but you get my point. Where they said that the Young case, they ruled against Young. You know, he had previously been ruled in favor of by the Ninth Circuit, but then they put together a 11-judge panel and, you know, handpicked some judges so that they could get a more favorable ruling. Still only ended up 7-4. Out of the 11 very liberal area judges, 4 of them still ruled in favor of Young. But if you're not familiar, Young basically sued Hawaii because they are a may issue state as far as their concealed carry permits are. They make you have to have a need and be of good character and everything to get a carry permit. And you can't open carry. So most people can't get a carry permit and they can't open carry either, so therefore they have no right to carry. Well, like I said, originally in the court said, yeah, you can't deny both. If you are not going to give people permits, then they have the right to open carry. Well, the en banc hearing, surprise, surprise, decided that no, you do not have a right to openly carry a gun in public. Now, I want to address some issues here tonight because a lot of people came into my chat tonight panicked saying, we're not going to be able to carry anymore. They said that carrying is not a constitutional right and we're not going to be able to do it anymore. And a lot of them were citing like what Guns and Gadgets was saying and some other people. And here's a hint for you. If your source of information is Guns and Gadgets, assume you're wrong. Because he's either one of the biggest fearmongers and disingenuous people on the planet, or he's just, even worse, he's one of those stupid people that think they're smart because he got it all wrong. If you live in a state where you have concealed carry and open carry or one or the other, you still have it. This ruling means nothing to you. It just simply means Hawaii, for now, doesn't have to change their laws. If your state laws are different, you're still okay. You can still carry. You'll still have the same right tomorrow to carry. You'll have the same legal right as you had yesterday, and you'll have it until your state changes its laws. But that's probably not going to happen because I don't think this is going to stand for very long. Now, some people are saying that, oh my God, they've ruled that there's no right to carry, period. They did not do that. I want to clear that up first. Second, because the first thing I want to clear up is if you live in a state where you have concealed carry or you have open carry, this does not affect you. Do not panic. This just means the people in Hawaii are still in the same shitty situation they were in before, just like, same people in California are still in the same shitty situation they were in before. But if you're in a better situation, it doesn't make your situation worse. It in no way says you don't have a right to carry. It just said the Constitution doesn't grant you the right to openly carry in public, basically willy-nilly, whenever you want, wherever you want. Because they said, there's precedent that there used to be restrictions on open carrying in certain areas and blah, blah, blah. So they're using that to override the Constitution, basically. They're saying, well, if there was an unconstitutional law 50 years after the Constitution was written, then it's constitutional now. That's basically their reasoning. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't affect you if you don't live in Hawaii, really, right now. But the second thing I wanted to talk about is they did not say you do not have a right to carry. I've seen some news media saying that. I've seen some gun channels saying that. Mostly the boo, go out and buy shit channels and the be scared, be angry channels. Those people because they want to manipulate you. But what they said is you do not have a right to openly carry in public in this case. Now, as far as his ability to be able to conceal carry and get a permit, they chose not to rule on that because they said he had not exhausted all of his sources inside the state of Hawaii. That he should have still filed a grievance, had another hearing, and then there's something else he should have gone through first, and then he could have sued. So they basically swept that aside so that they could just say, oh, there's no right to open carry. The whole thing about saying no right to carry, period, came from actually the dissenting judges, the 4 judges that believed this is a gross violation of the Second Amendment, who I agree with. They said basically that the 7 judges that ruled against Young, that they are destroying the Second Amendment, that they are violating the Constitution because they have held opinions in the past that there's no right to concealed carry in the Constitution. That you can have guns and you can use them for self-defense outside the home, but you can't conceal them. And since they've said that in the past, well, now they say there's no open carry rule. Basically, they're wanting to have their cake and eat it too, or eat their cake and have it too is the actual expression. They said, since you're saying now that you can't open carry, well, then you're basically saying there's no right to carry, period, in the Constitution, so therefore people can't bear arms. They can only own them. They can keep them, but they can't bear them. That's what the dissenting judges said. And a lot of people are construing that, say there's no right to carry. No, in the past, there's been actually a consensus that you either have to have one or the other offered to you. You have to either be able to open carry or conceal carry. If a state doesn't allow you to conceal carry, well, then open carry needs to be allowed. If they don't allow you to open carry, well, then concealed carry needs to be available to everyone. That's been the court precedent for a while. And like I said, 4 judges recognize that in the most liberal circuit in the country. So I don't think this is going to stand very long. Like I said, if you're in a state that's already better, it's not going to affect you at all. If you're in a state that has, like Hawaii, well, then you haven't gotten any relief right now. But I think relief might be on the way, because this is time for the Supreme Court to put up or shut up. Are they actual conservatives? Are they constitutionalists? Or are they just giving people lip service? Because if they ignore this ruling, well, then we can say they are not pro-Second Amendment. They are not constitutionalists. And we can give up any hope of them ever being so. Because this is a case they cannot give any valid reason to not hear. Unless they go, oh, well, we won't want to hear it till he goes through all this stuff in Hawaii. That would be the biggest fucking cop-out. That would tell us who they are. I've told you I never trusted Kavanaugh. I never trusted Gorsuch. And I am on the fence about Amy Coney Barrett. Because none of them have shown me that they actually walk the walk since they got nominated to the Supreme Court and got appointed. And if they do not take up this case, it'll be the time for all people that are conservatives, all people on the right side of the aisle, to say, hey, the politicians have been lying to us when they say these people are the good people to appoint. These people themselves are lying when they say they're pro-people and pro-constitution, etc. They're just giving us lip service. So we'll keep electing the same politicians that are putting them in place. If they don't hear this case, that's pretty much it for any hope that this Supreme Court is actually pro-constitution. Now that that's out of the way, I do believe they will hear this case. Because there's almost no way they can't. Because there's a contradiction here, like those 4 judges pointed out. If you've upheld before that there's no concealed right, and now you're saying there's no open right, well, then what right is there? And the Supreme Court's going to have to take that up. And I think it's a very good sign that you had 4 dissenting judges, like I said, in the most conservative court in the land, the Ninth Circuit. So if this does get taken to the Supreme Court, I cannot see this standing, period. I can't see Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, and definitely the other, known conservatives. Kennedy would be the only one I'd be worried about, really. And hopefully even he would be against something so egregiously anti-Second Amendment. So I think the way that the dissenting judges pointed out that this is so blatantly anti-Second Amendment and so blatantly a violation of people's rights, and a bunch of activist leftist judges in the Ninth Circuit, mostly coming from California, are trying to have it both ways. They're trying to say, well, we ruled against concealed carry because open carry was always an option. So as long as open carry is an option, we don't have to give you concealed carry. But now they're saying the opposite. And they're saying, well, he still has the right to conceal carry because he can get a permit. He hasn't gone all the way through the process to get the permit. So, we can't rule on that yet. It was a cop-out. It was kind of a way they could have eat their cake and have it too, as I said. So they could have it both ways. Because they knew there's no way they can justify saying, if he can't conceal carry and or open carry, well, then neither of them are all right. Because by them saying he can't open carry, they're saying, well, then if concealed carry is not an option, either, well, then he's been totally denied the right to carry. But they didn't say that. What they said is, he hasn't gone through the process fully. It's a fucking game. They're stalling. So that's why I think the Supreme Court has to take this up. And like I said, this has to be the time. They have to finally talk the talk and not just walk the walk. It's put up or shut up time for the Supreme Court. I'm optimistic. I think it is going to make it to the Supreme Court. I think it's going to be torn apart in the Supreme Court. And in some ways, it's actually kind of better that this en banc hearing reversed the previous decision, the three-judge panel decision, because if it had been allowed to stand, well, then only Hawaii's laws would have changed, and possibly California. But now that it is going to the Supreme Court, most likely, if the Supreme Court sides with the original interpretation, that means it's national. Not only will it affect Hawaii, California, it'll affect every state, New Jersey, everywhere, New York. So that could be a really good thing. And that's how we've been winning our battles lately, Supreme Court. Even before we got the makeup we have now, the big cases, the Heller and everything, that was before the makeup we have now. And that's how we got our big victories. So I see this going to the Supreme Court. I see it being overturned. And like I said, don't listen to the fearmongers. Don't listen to the people that are just trying to rile you up and get you upset. You are not losing your right to carry unless, of course, you live in Hawaii and you already didn't have it. You're already being put upon there. You're already having your rights violated in Hawaii. The only thing is, it's not going to change right now. It's going to take a while longer. It's going to have to go higher up the chain. And then hopefully it'll be in a place where conditions are favorable. And I believe they are. And this will get settled once and for all. Because if this goes to the Supreme Court and they say, you have a right to carry in public, you have to either be given the right to conceal carry or open carry, one or the other, well, then every state will have to conform to that. And most states will offer conceal carry and have to just become shall issue states. Because most cases, states like New York and everything aren't going to want to have to allow you to open carry. So, like I said, in many ways, this is a blessing in disguise. If you're a long-term person, it could have been better. I mean, they could have upheld it, and then maybe even something could have went to Supreme Court. But if they had upheld it, it wouldn't have gone to Supreme Court as quickly. So this is better news for people in New Jersey, New York, etc., because now it's going to come up to where it could affect them. But it is making the people in Hawaii, California, etc., wait a little longer. So don't worry, don't panic. It's not going to affect you if you already have your rights. If you don't have them in the state you live in, sorry that you didn't get them yet, but there's still a very good chance you're going to get them, a much better chance than you having one in this liberal Ninth Circuit. So there's still a good chance for you. And here's good news for the people like in New Jersey, New York. This is now potentially going to be something that will change your laws as well. So let's all keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep our spirits high. Let's hope for the best. Let's fund the fight. When this goes to the Supreme Court, make sure you pay attention to the Young versus Hawaii case when it goes to the Supreme Court, because they might need some money. They might need some help. I know I will help it any way I can. I'll give what money I can afford. So I hope everyone else will out there do it as well. That's why I always tell people, don't send your money off to these big gun groups. Don't send your money to these charlatans. Wait until you know where the fight is at. Like when Young versus Hawaii hits the Supreme Court. That'll be what you'll need to donate to. And that'll be the fight that's important right now. So, like I said, don't despair. Don't worry. If you're okay, you're still okay. If you're in Hawaii, you'll wait a little longer. If you're in New Jersey, New York, like I said, maybe something good's coming. So like I said, let's keep our fingers crossed and our spirits high, because this one is one I think we're going to win.